Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Figure Kit Garage. Brent Krug back with Millicent Patrick Work in Progress Part 7. Since the last time we were here, I got quite a bit done on her, and I'll go ahead and show you what I've done. I went ahead and painted the hair, and it may be a little bit hard to tell in the lights, but she has a deep reddish-brown tone to her hair. This is how I imagined her looking. If I'm incorrect, then so be it. But I base coated her hair in the Vallejo Smoky ink, dry brushed it with Coat d'Arms Brick Red, and then washed back over it with the Smoky ink again to darken the Brick Red highlights down, and then did a very light dry brush one last time with the Brick Red to make those highlights stand out in the very uppermost parts of the hair. As well, I went ahead and finished off the pearls in the necklace and the earrings. Those were base coated with Vallejo Cold White and then gone over again with Liquitex Iridescent Pearl White. And then the gloss coat that I used was Liquitex Gloss Gel Medium and Varnish. And it has a really beautiful pearl reflective color. I'm really happy with how it looks. Excuse me. The lips were done with a mixture of Createx matte and gloss. I wanted her lips to have a little bit of shine to them, but not anything overwhelming or too bright. And the teeth were done in standard gloss. Eyes were glossed over with Liquitex Gloss Gel Medium and Varnish. And then I applied the eyeshadow, which was two separate colors of blue, one light and one medium, done very, very lightly and then fixed in place. The skirt has been glued in place once and for all. I'm glad that that's finally out of the way. I've been looking forward to getting that done, but I wanted to make sure everything else was taken care of before I attempted it. And that was fixed in place with DevCon steel reinforced epoxy. Buttons done in a dark blue called Dark Sky, and then glossed over with the Liquitex Gloss Gel Varnish. And I started on the water, and I decided to stop because I wanted to show you guys how I was going to do this. And the water was started with a base coat of Army Painter Dark Sky, and then I went over that with a wash of Green Stuff World Quicksand Brown mixed in with Vallejo's Game Color Cayman Green. I wanted it to be a murky green, not a beautiful blue water, since this is the Black Lagoon. I didn't want the water to be, perfectly blue. So I decided to stop because I wanted to show you guys how I'm going to do this, the water setup. And I'm going to continue on with that by using Quicksand Brown and a little bit of this Citadel Colors Castellan Green. This is a little bit darker than the Cayman Green, and I'm going to feather that out around the edges to have it go darker as it moves away from the shoreline. So we'll get started on that. And as well, earlier this evening, had a heck of a group that showed up on the Model Club TV Discord server. My God, at one point we had Jesse Garcia from Garage Kits US, Brian Clark, Jamie Sy, Scott Johansson, Paul Gill from Gillman Productions, myself, Scott Lookabill. My God, it was a nice group there for a while. Discussed anything and everything between kits and normal life. So it was a lot of fun. If you haven't had the chance to go on that Discord server, do so. You won't regret it. drop one drop of yellow olive. This is a really, really dark green that I'm about to use, so I'm only going to use one drop to darken that green tone down. And then once I get the water painted to my satisfaction, I'm going to go in and do some, it's already got waves sculpted in, but I'm going to do waves with Woodland Scenics water effects. And I tried this out earlier today to see exactly how I was going to do this. And it's kind of hard to tell, but you can kind of see the wave pattern that I did on this scrap piece of foam board. I like the way that's going to turn out. The only bad part about it is it takes anywhere from 8 to 24 hours to completely dry crystal clear. So everything has its ups and downs. And that stuff is, you definitely have to have a lot of patience when working with that stuff, and you can't put it on, well, that stuff you can put on semi-thick, but the realistic water you can only do in 1/8 inch or 3/8 of an inch increments at a time, and each layer has to dry for a full 24 hours. So once I get the water where I want it, we're going to jump to painting the creature head. And I've already made a decision on how I'm going to do that. It's not going to be fully painted. It's going to be a work in progress, much like she's been for the duration of this video series. And by that, it'll have a dark, I'm going to use the dark olive, the yellow olive as a primer coat. I'm going to use Cayman green for the base coat color, but it's only going to be coated in certain areas. I'm going to have brush strokes showing up along the side of the head in certain areas to show that she is actually working on it. Instead of finishing it, it's going to be worked on. So we're going to begin doing the water. Zoom in a little bit. I'm going to angle the camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing. That's better. Everybody has a good weekend. This is my final day off. I wanted to do this yesterday, but things did not go exactly as planned, so I also had to wait for my water effects to come in from Amazon. My previous bottle had dried up and I threw it out and completely forgot that I had done that. So I had to order a whole new bottle. I'm going to come in with a wet brush and stipple around that area that I just added to. You'll still be able to see some of the blue underneath, but it'll be pushed back. Oops, get that back in range of the camera. It'll be pushed back by the green quite a bit, especially out here on the edges. And then once I do the water effects, it'll actually distort all the colors in the water, but once light hits it in a certain way, you'll be able to see the full effect. This is the first time I've ever tried doing water like this, so it's... I don't get to do water effects very often, but to get kind of creative. But all in all, I'm incredibly proud of how she's turned out. I'm more lucky than anything. I had Virginia to give me hints and tips on how to do that eyeshadow. So thank you, dear. I was definitely treating that with kid gloves when I did it. I was not trying to overdo it to make her look like she was ready for a night out on the town. So let that dry real quick. Use my airbrush and kind of speed that up so we can see where we're at. And if anybody ever uses you ever see anybody use a hair dryer to speed dry paint, don't follow that example. It's a terrible mistake. Because speed drying with a hair dryer only dries off the outer layer of the paint. It does not dry all the way through. Setting paint in front of a fan or using your airbrush to dry that paint down is the best way to go. May take a little bit longer, but the paint will dry all the way through. As you can kind of see, it has a already definite lighter to darker tone going through it. You can still see the blue showing through, which is what I wanted. But I didn't want so much of that blue showing through that actually not look correct. There. Back the camera out a little bit. And I'm hoping this will be the final work in progress video of this series. I probably will do one more, which will be the final reveal of the completed project. But after this, all I'll have left to do is glue the right hand on, paint the brush for her right hand, and add that in, glue the sign on, and then glue the creature head and left hand to the body, and that will pretty much be the end of it. So, should be able to get all this done tonight. If anything, I'll try to get this video uploaded by Sunday, if not Monday at the absolute latest. And then do one more for the reveal, and then that'll be it. And I want to say thank you to everybody that has watched along with this. I'm not like, guys like John Allred and Jeff Camp. I'm not even remotely close. I do my absolute best, but more than anything else, I paint for myself, and I enjoy what I do immensely. And that's one of the biggest things, if anything, you should take away from this is don't worry about what everybody else thinks. do your paint job for yourself and worry about everybody else's opinions later. Because in the end, your opinion is the only one that truly matters. As long as you're happy with what you do, that is all that counts. Dry that off with the airbrush real quick. Got a good transition from light to dark. Not too dark. I didn't want to go black green, but just enough where you can see the difference in the colors. Lighter towards the shoreline, darker as it goes further out. So I'm going to go seal this off, and when we come back, we'll start making water. Be right back. Alright, we're back. Now that the flat coat is dried, we're going to start working with this water effects. And for those of you who haven't worked with this stuff, it goes on really thick and it dries completely clear. Model railroaders use this for creating all different types of scenery for rapids, waterfalls, you name it. And I'm going to mix this up with a little bit of distilled water just to thin it down a hair. Although it's not, it's thin enough. So now I'm going to take a flat brush. Might need a little bit more of this. Try and keep the waves as small as possible. Just because the scenery itself is rather tiny. And this will dry very, very glossy once it's completely set. And depending on how thick you apply this, the actual cure time can vary, so keep that in mind. Oops. Right up to the edge. Take this brush, that stuff does not want to cooperate. And it does clean up with water, so that in the way of the camera. Dab it on a little bit thicker. Need to go a lot thicker on the application. It's not working out the way I wanted. Trying to get some unique wave effects. Parts of it are starting to dry out already. Should be a nice wavy pattern than what I was originally trying. More like churning water than anything else. And I may have to do more than one layer of this. Just depends on how it dries and how it looks, and whether or not I like the overall result. Should give a fairly decent look of churning or slightly moving water. We'll see what happens when it dries. Make sure I get all those edges. And if I have to add more to it once it's completely finished, then so be it. You guys will get to see the final effect after it's completed. So that is the water using Woodland Scenic's water effects. As thin as that is, it shouldn't take too long to dry, but if it does, so be it. I already knew that coming in. So now I'm going to put her off to the side. We're going to jump right into painting the creature's head. So for that, excuse me, before I paint the head, I'm going to paint the hand that is holding that head first and foremost. It's not going to be seen once I get it glued to her body. May have over-reduced this a little bit. Clean this brush out. Now, if you use water effects, do not let it settle in your brushes for any reason, as it will ruin them because it's not coming out once it solidifies. Yep, I over-reduced it by way too much. I'm just using Createx Lifelines Natural to coat that skin, and that's it. I'm not going to do any detailing or anything like I did on her right hand and her face. It's just going to be simple flesh tone paint up, and that's it. Let that dry, seal that up, we'll come back and we'll start painting green. Alright, we're back. Now I'm going to start applying this yellow olive as kind of a, for lack of a better way to say it, primer coat. I can brush paint the underside where her hand is at, so I'm not really worried about hitting that right now. Set that down like so. Nice decent dark green to begin with. And it looks like I'm going to have to redo the water effects on the base. From what I can see, it didn't exactly turn out the way I was hoping. That's alright, I can do one more layer of it. I'm not going to try and take it off because otherwise I have to strip the entire thing down. And I'm not doing that. Alright, let that paint dry for a few minutes, seal it off, we'll come back and we'll apply the Cayman green and make it look like it's in the beginning of being painted. Stick around. Okay, we're back and now we're going to start applying Cayman green sparingly to the creature's head. Like I said before, this head is going to be a work in progress, so I'm going to go in certain areas with it. I'm going to end up flipping that paint cup over, and that's the last thing I need. All right. Set that off to the side real quick. Oh, sorry about the camera bump, everybody. So now I'm going to go in. Cayman green straight out of the bottle. And I'm going to add a bit of blockiness to this. Make it look like she's working on it. Tilt the camera back up a little bit so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Kind of adding areas where she'll be hitting it with a brush. On some places it's going to look kind of hard to tell. Definitely going to be hard to tell. Trying to get that to fill in a little bit better. So that's kind of the effect that I'm looking for, is brush strokes across the top of the head, like she's actually working on him. I did not want to do a fully completed creature because I think that would be kind of too easy for me anyway. I just wanted something that makes it look like she's working on him as you see it. And overall, that's what I was looking for. An incomplete creature head being painted by the lady who helped create him. And that's the effect I was going for. An incomplete creature head being worked on by Miss Patrick, brush strokes and all, as she is a work in progress in this video series. This creature head is also a work in progress. So I also went ahead and redid the water effects off camera. A little bit more motion to the water this time instead of what I had the last time. I'm a little bit more happy with this. I got a funny feeling it's not going to be dry until sometime tomorrow afternoon. So you won't see the final effect until she's finished. So always keep in mind that water effects, it takes a little bit of patience, no matter what, to get it right. That is the first time I've ever done anything like that on a kit like this, so experimenting, trial and error, and that's what this hobby of ours is all about. So, with that being finished up, and having to let her sit for probably the next 24 hours, and having the creature head right where I want it to be for an unfinished piece, I'm going to call work in progress for Millicent Patrick number 7 completed. When next I have her on camera, it will be the completed piece, because all I have left to do now, glue the right hand on, paint the brush, glue it in, get the creature's hand, the fossilized hand placed on the base, get the nameplate attached, and it will be finished. So, work in progress number 7 completed. I want to thank everybody that has subscribed recently, and for those that have been subscribed to me for quite some time, I want to say thank you very much for sticking around for this work in progress series. This has been a lot of fun. And although there was a lot of stuff that I did off camera, I intentionally did that not to drag this out for too long. That was a purely creative decision on my part. And if anybody has any questions about how I... Oh, Lord. Never trust anything that heavy. Nothing broke. Thank God. The thing that I had the creature's head sitting on actually fell off. Because of his weight. The head is undamaged. Minor scrape on the lip right there, and that's it. Thank God. It could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. So now I'll touch that up while I'm at it. Yeah, my heart's beating about 1,000,000 miles a minute. Trying to figure out what just got spilled on him. I'm not exactly sure what it was. Oh, I think I know what that is. I think that's that airbrush restorer that I use to clean stuff off with. Means it's going to eat through the paint. Yep, that's exactly what that was. Damn. Now that can be touched up. See what extent the damage is. Not too bad. Just a little retouch. That'll be good as new. Well, now that that interruption's out of the way. Damn. So, dry that off. Got further on there than I thought. Yep. Sure did. Damn. Not what I was hoping for. And make sure wherever you set your kits, boys and girls, make sure they are stable before you let go of them. Even I'm human and I make mistakes. That scared the crap out of me. Oh damn, it actually flattened out that part of his lip. So he's got a flat spot there that I can't correct. That's not that bad. Yeah, it definitely got on the underside too. Just along the edge, nothing major. Don't remember having a container of that restorer there though, because it ate right through the flat lacquer. Jeez. That should be all right. And I have a little bit of a flat spot right there on the lip. Not much I can do about that now. Damn. Try and sand that out and try to round it off a little bit. It landed right on that part. I'm slamming him up against my workbench. Cute. Let's see here. Okay, getting back to what I was saying. Thank you to everybody that subscribed, that stuck with me throughout the entire process of this. It's greatly appreciated. So next video will be the final finished reveal of Millicent Patrick, Creature from the Black Lagoon, sculpted by Jeff Yeager and produced by Typhon Studios. Until next time, everybody stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, build a kit.